Film release of the year. All right.
Now we're live. You got to do it again, Jace. Do it again. Do it. Do the intro. What's up, everyone?
Dun, dun, dun.
They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
This summer, in the most anticipated film release of the year, the Magic Guys will... Well, we're actually going to be talking to a previous legend amongst myself and Josh. This is going to be a new experience for Mr. Douglas J. Conn, and that's not even his middle initial. Ladies and gentlemen, Petey, the motherfucking UN. That's right. Petey Majik.
This guy we're about to introduce, he's the guy that Jason and I looked up to in the Brisbane street magic scene, and now he's gone off to stardom, and we're going to talk all about it. Let's bring him in. Let's give it up for Petey.
What up?
Oh, yeah.
What's up, guys?
Petey, so a lot of you probably don't know as well, but Petey's only 27. How long have you been 27 for again? 14 years. That's it. 14
Twice
years has been
over,
27.
almost.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So.
No, I'm 41 end of this month, so.
Yay.
That is
in
ridiculous.
the level 4 range.
So being a magician really keeps you young. That's all I can bring it down to.
It's an illusion, as they say.
And then you turn off.
That's our friend JS Magic's slogan. It's all an illusion.
I might have done that keeping young thing incorrectly. I don't know what happened.
You really shut the bed on this one, didn't you, Doug?
So Petey, for the guys watching, man, you got to bring it back and explain how you started and what you were doing before, because Petey, who he'll explain, but he's been doing all the stuff that we're doing well before it was a thing. Like, I remember watching Petey live streaming before live streaming was a thing. I remember him, selling merch. I remember him doing vlogs, all that stuff before I even had a camera. So please take us back, Petey.
Can we get the preface to that? Look, what happened? Like, I don't want to interrupt too much.
No, I mean,
I'm wondering what leads into that, right? Like, when did you start doing magic? Just an elevator version.
I think I was, compared to most people or most magicians' stories, everyone sort of seems to have started in their early teens. I didn't actually learn anything until later on. So I was born in 1980, so I grew up watching a lot of magic on TV. So the Copperfield specials were like a massive thing through the 90s, and we would record it on our VHS and just watch it over and over. But it was none of that got me started anything. It didn't drive me, I want to be a magician. I just loved watching it. I didn't know one hard trick that my dad's friend, kind of like an uncle who taught me, just a self-working trick, which is pretty cool. I think Josh might know it, but we'll get into that a bit later. And it was only that I knew how to do it. Went through the whole 90s phase of Copperfield, I guess, Penn and Teller's early specials, even Rudy Kobe.
Oh, yeah, those were great. Yeah, those Rudy Kobe specials were fantastic.
And then Siegfried and Roy era. And then it wasn't until maybe 2001 that I came across the David Blaine Street Magic special. Because I think Australia, we had it on cable TV 4 years after it was already aired in America. And then that was sort of what sparked a bit more curiosity, because it seemed a bit more real to me, in the sense where, some dude just walking on the street and just doing, magic to people. There was no setup.
Yeah, right.
Nothing.
He opened a lot of eyes. So you weren't doing magic until David Blaine, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, more extensively. I actually took up guitar, learning a guitar. And I was about 3 months into doing the whole chords and everything. And then I was downloading some stuff. And then I found a file that said, in the description, it says snap change. And the file was how to change one card to another card. And it was the Penguin Magic's O's Perlman. So I downloaded it. It was just a tutorial. And that was the first time I've ever really seen a sort of, I guess, a tutorial in magic. So I went and practiced it. And I sort of luckily, did it first go in front of a mirror on that same day. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? But I knew what was happening, but it looked so visual. And then I went back and whoever that account was, I had downloaded every other Penguin Magic video off them. And then from learning that, I guess it's like any other hobby. You eventually start meeting people who do that.
As a reference, how old are you at this point? You're in your 20s, 22, something like that?
2001, so I was turning 21.
All right.
But I still wasn't going hardcore. It was more 22, 23 when I started actually
So
getting a gig.
I consider that a late start in my book. You know.
Yeah,
I also consider 6 a late start, but that's
Yeah, Di Vernon wasted the first 6 years of his life.
yeah,
so
exactly.
the rest of us need to get our shit together.
And then
So-
I guess from there, I met JJ not long after that, and then Sean Murgard and all the boys.
The boys.
These are professionals from the Aussie land, I guess.
they all were professional magicians at one stage.
Yeah, they were the
Most of
They
them
were the-
retired now.
they
JJ's
were
an
the
influential speaker now, and our friend Sean Murgard, who, by the way, was the most knowledgeable magician that I knew. That I still know, actually. He probably knows more than you, Doug. That's how much this guy knows.
Oh, we need to
But
talk.
he stopped now, and he works as an Apple genius, right? Is that right?
Well, I
Yes,
think he
yes.
teaches the Apple Genius people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
But
but
he
he
still
still
does-
does
right?
he just still does a show a year with Pete Booth.
Yeah.
They still do their
He's
show.
a knowledgeable guy, man. He knows his stuff, like through and through.
But Sean also studied video production in university. So he was the one that shot and edited all of my stuff. So I would hang over at his place, and he would have pretty much a library.
Well,
Of,
that's convenient
all
to
the
have
stuff.
a master video guy working with you.
Yeah,
he was a books guy too. Books, VHS,
Yeah.
had all the books. Yeah.
That's the way to learn.
because back in the day, PD started putting out. Was it weekly, the Street Magic videos, or was it like a monthly thing?
It was a weekly thing at first. So we were sort of just
Yeah.
playing around with I guess just content. And at the time we were shooting in 4:3 because 16:9 didn't even exist yet. And we're shooting with a video camera. You had to have mini 3mm tapes, DV tapes. So when you're importing that to your computer, you have to actually let it run through rather than a digital file, which was annoying.
Yeah, you have to go from analog to digital. I had that experience.
How would you even know that was annoying, though? Because that would have just been the norm, right?
Like the thing.
No, because,
Well, it's because it took hours, right?
It took forever, but like
was
sometimes-
fucking- you had to wait forever, right? It was horrible.
I think because there was also those Canon 1.3 meg cameras, pocket cameras, and they could film, but they were using SD cards. So I was always wondering, are we ever going to switch to these cards for the bigger cameras? And I guess eventually we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you started YouTube in what, like 2005 or something?
Wow.
Or 2006?
Yeah, around about there. A similar
You've
time
since
when
made a new channel, right? Is that Party Never Stops? That's a new YouTube channel you're doing now?
yeah, because I mean, my old one was flagged
Hot
a
for
lot.
sauce.
Hot sauce, yeah. No, just hot sauce actually, because that was the plate number of my car.
These
H-
Ah.
HOT, back for UCE sauce. Yeah.
That's
These
the
don't
origin.
sound like magic channels. What's your niche, as they say?
So I guess after getting into magic in Australia and then doing gigs and getting to the point where you can sort of sustain and do it full time, I got a couple of offers from a friend who was living in Vietnam at the time saying, hey, can you still speak Vietnamese? Because if you can still speak the language, you should come here and try and do something. And at that time, my mum and dad, they were traveling to Vietnam once a year just to see family. I never went since 1995. I was 15. I never took any interest in going back until one year my mum wanted to go because, grandmother was getting old. She wanted to see my grandma. Yeah. Dad didn't want to go, but dad didn't want mum to go by herself. So I accompanied her in 2011. And while going, I went to meet up with my friend here and he took me around Vietnam, and I was like amazed at the development that had changed from the last time I was here. And he said, dude, magic is alive here, but no one's doing what you're doing. And even if you're doing old stuff, it's brand new here.
Right.
So I guess.
So Petey went on the TV show and did sponge balls with leaves.
I did actually, because it was sort of, when I look back now, it's a bit of it's funny to look at because I came over there more of a holiday and just sort of scope out what I could do, and then come back in 6 months, and I guess I did like a free show for Mercedes-Benz, just doing cocktail roving, and then my mate goes, hey, we have a venue. This guy has a venue, and he said, do you want to do something on stage? And I didn't have much stuff with me. So I said, okay, well, all I can sort of do is some kind of stand up and that sort of stuff. I can do some close up, but you're going to have to get some cameras in and some screens. That's the only way I could do it. So I did that. It was a free show, and he invited a few people he knew, and there happened to be a couple in the audience, probably in their 60s, and I needed a couple that were together on a stage, and I did True Love for them. And he waited for me after the show, and he said, "Hey, I'm so happy to see foreign Vietnamese come back to Vietnam and bring some joy. I don't know how I can help you, but come to my house for dinner the next day." And I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Went to his house the next day, had dinner, brought a little set of magic tricks to do. And then at the end of that, he goes, "I have a production company here, and we'd like to do a show with you in it, and sort of make it like a tourism thing where I would be this Vietnamese returning to Vietnam, and there'll be like 14 episodes with 14 different significant locations."
Oh, so he's talking TV shows then.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? And I said, can I go home and get stuff? I had no consultancy, no one here to help.
Right.
And this was 2011. I'd only been under 10 years into this game, basically.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
so my Vietnamese wasn't great. It was okay, but it wasn't great. So I was sort of mixing.
What an exciting time.
Yeah.
So you just went for it, huh?
I just went for it.
And I remember being back home and then seeing that first trailer roll out. That real cinematic trailer, and I was like, "Oh sugar, this is where we lose Petey to Vietnam."
Was it
on a side note, I'm being roasted in the comments, and but also there's a question for Petey that's what type of magic do you not perform but still enjoy watching?
Let me bring it up here.
Live or on TV? Or
any either, I guess.
I mean, I still love the whole close-up and sleight of hand stuff. I think it's just where it's gone from the times that we were doing it. I think it's just evolved. It's cleaner. It's almost like CGI. These days, and I think the ideas have just expanded so far. For live, I mean, I enjoy a lot of Penn and Teller stuff. Me and Sean went and saw him twice in 1 week when we were in Vegas this one time, because after the first time we missed the trick that we didn't know how they did it. And we went, man, we got to figure it out. So we bought tickets to go see it again. But I love the whole storyline, the whole build up, I think if people package their trick around with something, it's always nice. I mean, it depends on the trick as well.
Yeah,
have you seen Doug perform?
Let me talk about Penn and Teller. I saw them on tour in Biloxi, and so they're on the road on tour. Half of their show was just a deck of cards, right? It's just amazing how strong the characters are in that show, where they don't need Las Vegas glitz and all the crap. It's just the words are enough. And
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
Penn's a very well-spoken man.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Teller's a wonderful magician. So
and you know why? Just on a side note, do you know why he's a well-spoken man and an excellent entertainer? Because he was a street performer, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. Street performers rule.
Yeah. So, Petey, how long was it after doing what was it called, by the way? Because when I translated it, it said street witch.
Full T
is that
like
how it is perceived?
Street or wizard. I mean, so witch or wizard. Đường Phố is street.
So street wizard.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So Phố is like city, Đường is the road. So like street wizard kind of thing. I mean, I had no say in all that production stuff. So it was kind of weird because
they just hand you a bag of money and say go.
My mate put his hand up.
Yeah.
Said, I'll be his manager. My mate put his hand up and said, I'll be the manager. So he was sort of making all the calls. And, on certain... We shot in very, very short time. I think in Vietnam, like, even when I got into film, it's not like back home where a movie could take, months to a year. In Vietnam, they'll cram it and get everything done in 3 days.
We do have a very serious question in the chat, and that is...
is it this one?
When does the party stop?
I think that's that boy Pasha asking that.
It is Pasha. You know what? The other day, someone said to me, what's that saying? It goes, anything is possible, right? Yeah. So he looked at me, he goes, if anything is possible, so is it possible for the party to stop?
So you're getting savaged, basically. Yeah, you have a motto that you live by, and everyone's trying to shit on you.
He's got the
much.
sign behind him. He lives by it.
There
yeah,
it is. There
look
it
at
is.
that.
Yeah, slide it to the side so everyone can see it more.
Yeah.
So explain your skit now. What exactly is that? You're on
Okay, so
media still doing what?
I guess a bit of everything, really. I mean, I evolved here into acting. So I did some films here, feature
And this
films
was
here.
an evolution from this magic production that you did?
I mean, like once you get a little bit of exposure, you start getting calls and you're doing gigs, and then other directors for films say, hey, you look like you fit a role, come for an audition.
Yep.
And then you get some MC jobs, and then I guess what the kids call today influencers.
Yeah.
And then I think from there, I sort of just did a whole revamp of where I was, because I didn't take a lot of my social stuff seriously in terms of really branding it well.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, my email was sizzle me this, and I was still giving that out to professionals.
Right.
So, but Party Never Stops it came from an old story with some friends, and we were out at a music festival, and when we finished, they wanted to go to the after party, and I was like, nah, I'm just going to chill so I can enjoy day 2. And he's like, come on, man, Party Never Stops. And it just became a running gag, not necessarily for parties, but just for anything you do. Like, it shouldn't stop. It should just keep going. So I redid a new YouTube channel, Party Never Stops, because my old one, Hot Sauce, I've been flagged numerous times with copyright music. So I thought, you know what, let's just start afresh, do it properly, subscribe to a royalty-free, non-copyright music subscription, and just do it properly. So on there, I've just been vlogging. There's some magic on there. I redid David Copperfield's interactive magic with some beer cans that I got sponsored with.
Cool.
And then just everyday stuff on crypto, stuff on my life or whatever. So I don't know. I'll just see how that goes.
More variety. I feel like magic is such a niche, like super niche. It's like a super niche where it like limits you so much. Yeah, I kind of want to try and break that mold as well. Like, I still want to do magic, obviously, but I would I'd rather people subscribing for me.
What about juggling, Josh?
Juggling?
Yeah, you could do that instead.
You good at juggling, Josh?
Juggling. Well,
Josh
I'm
juggle.
No, Josh, I'm sorry. I was directing my comment at the other Jay, but you could juggle too, Josh. I don't want to narrow it down just to Jason.
How many balls can you juggle?
I mean, I can juggle, but everyone. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm so sorry I asked. Jesus Christ.
There's not enough room here to do anything. Like, I can't really move.
No.
Here we go. All right, juggle up.
Yeah, all right.
These pins actually represent different things too. So this one represents work, because life requires a little balance. This one here represents life, and this one here represents whatever you want it to represent. So
I feel like I'm watching a John Stessel TikTok.
Yeah, it is a John Stessel TikTok.
That's cool.
Well, that surprises me not at all that you just picked those up and juggle. Well played, sir. Well played.
You got everything on call.
But what you really need is a card that turns into a watch. That's what you really need.
That's the hottest gimmick, yeah.
Hey, do you know how sick I am of seeing that goddamn trick? It's so frustrating to watch.
Okay, but
both myself and Josh have made.
I think I got this worked out. Listen to this. The watch turns into the card.
No way. Are you serious?
Reverse. Just do it in reverse.
Yeah, just reverse the video. I mean, surely you could do a snap change.
They always hold it like this too. They always have this like goofy way of holding it, and it turns into the damn watch. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
About to quit this stream.
Jeez.
This damn podcast.
I saw this one guy on.
By the way, Petey, there's a comment section. You should be able to see the comments rolling in.
Yeah, I can see it actually.
Sweet.
Oh, there they are. Thanks for pointing that out again.
No worries.
I pointed that for the second. I had private chat open. It was empty.
Sorry, I had my screen on 4:3. Now I can see it.
Still in old school YouTube mode. Yeah. And then I remember you and JJ did a live stream back in the day before you could live on YouTube. And I think, did you guys find a random platform that showed ads throughout the stream or something?
I think it was called Ustream. From memory.
I remember that. I remember Ustream. Yep.
because a lot of the DJs and musicians here, like Zai, he used Ustream, so we sort of jumped on and did that as well. So, but yeah, there were ads from what I remember. It was kind of weird.
Yeah,
but it was exciting. It was like, I don't think live stream was a huge thing back then, but
yeah, now it's a full culture, man. There's a whole like website like just for it, like specifically for it. Twitch. It's crazy.
We're live right now. Imagine doing this in 2010. It would have blown people's heads off.
Yeah. Well, internet. How fast was internet back then?
Oh, you dial up, yeah.
ADSL was it ADSL?
Still here, like.
Yeah. So if you're doing magic these days, man, what kind of things are you pulling out?
These days, I've gone like the corporate route. I still do, the smaller club gigs and private birthday parties and stuff. I think for the corporate stuff, it's moved a lot into, for the Vietnam audience, there's no coin work because we don't use coins here. And it's still fine to do it, I guess. You can use overseas coins, but it's just I've had audience.
Fake, though, don't they?
Well, yeah, they just say, "Hey, that's a trick coin."
There's like no coins in the culture, huh?
Well, it's been phased out. We used to have like 3 different types of coins, and one of them was magnetic. It was like an actual. You could just
steel
use
coin.
Steel coin. One of the denominations was. But very rare to get Vietnamese coins now. But there's a few coin magicians here that are really good, like just pure focused on coins.
Okay.
Pretty good. But yeah, just corporate stuff. Like my last one I did was
a magician named Yuxi, I think his name is Yuxi.
From Vietnam?
Yeah, I believe he's Vietnamese.
Coin?
He does insane coin magic.
Yeah, I know that guy. He was on a show here as well. But
yeah, I used to speak with him like years back, like maybe like 6 years ago. We used to talk about coin magic because he didn't know many magicians that did coin work.
Yeah.
And so, he ended up seeing some of my videos online and we started chatting. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he's nuts. He released this thing, like a spellbound routine that was, like 10 pages of just insanity. Yeah, it was friggin' insane.
He's a young kid as well. So, what was my last
so,
thing? Yeah, I mean,
the magic you're doing,
So recently I teamed up with a platform here called Vibe G Experiences, run by a couple of guys. So Vibe G is kind of like, I guess like masterclass sort of thing here in Vietnam. So they do everything from, baking, magic workshops or whatever. So I originally went on and did a basic magic sort of workshop, live workshop, not online. And then they introduced me to another group called Hoa Tay Space, which is an event space. And in Vietnam, there's really, really funky spaces where it's decked out, where you can do parties, corporate experiences, like escape room, that sort of stuff. And the guy there, John and Kim, they are big on bringing acts in that have to do with Vietnamese culture. So then we sat down and I sort of shared with them a couple of tricks that I guess is good in that space. And then we sort of aligned it with a Vietnamese story. So I would tell this story as people would come in and see the show. Like the room is split up into 3 and you take only 10 people in at a time. So they come in, they don't know what's going on. They get a welcome drink and then a host comes out and starts narrating the story. And then I take over in telling the story and incorporating the magic into it. And at the end of in the 3rd room, it's like, it goes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes. And so the 20-minute portion of the room is mainly the close-up parlor style. And there's an illusion in that where I end up at the front of the room.
That sounds like a wonderful experience.
Yeah. So, but since COVID, we've had to like put it on hold. So
Petey's got some great magic though, Doug. He does he's the only magician I know who frequently does Thread by Wayne Houchin.
Nice.
And yeah. It's like the thing I remember you the most for was that and your bottle production. You did the splash.
I'm gonna go blind soon. My mum says don't do that. But every time she goes, "Are you still doing that trick?"
Good trick.
I remember seeing you. I loved watching you do it to Tim Majik and
Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland
from Destiny's Child. Yeah.
That was beautiful, seeing her freak out. And then I love how at the end she's like, I thought the needle was going to come out of your eye as well. Because
that was a good gig too. So I think Australia has the same event back home. That was the Colour Me Run marathon run where you throw all the colour starch at people and all the colour powders go everywhere.
Wow.
So that was 2014. That was the first one in Vietnam, and I was invited to the press conference because apparently Kelly Rowland's entourage, they were so strict on her time. They're like, look, we don't want to be at a press conference. It's just going to be so boring, taking so much time. So a mate of mine, Philip, who was running the event, hits me up and goes, yo, can you come and do a surprise act? Like, be the last person to ask a question and then start your act. So I was the last person to ask a question that didn't ask anything to do with the marathon. I just put my hand up and said, do you guys believe in magic? And then Philip just went, well, he was in on it. So he was like,
Nice.
if I see it, I'll believe it. And that was my cue.
That's right. And then suddenly the music started and your voiceover started.
Yeah.
Just impromptu.
Yeah. So I do that act to a narration, Doug. So it's not like I just come up and say, I eat this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
One of our OG followers is in the building, Josh. Justine.
Hey,
The song or the
Justine
song?
from the Philippines. What's up?
Yes.
What's up?
Welcome.
Little cardistry magician. Which is cool.
Yeah. Also, Jace, for you guys watching, Jace made it into Ramsey's video yesterday, as did a couple of
I did see that.
a couple of our Discord members also made it in.
Yeah, our boy Paul with the pro made it in.
Yeah, and AJ Stouse, I think is his Discord name, made it in as well.
Hell yeah.
What's going on? It's something about the magic
Also-
guys, you know.
Also, a friend of mine.
Apparently, not all the magic guys.
A friend of mine, Samuel King, made it in as well with his coin pocket pouch thing. That was cool.
Feeling left
That
out.
was
I made it in that
video,
video
right?
twice. Twice. One with
That
a
was his most recent one, I think. I did see
yeah,
that.
one with a pen and pencil switch, and then the other one with the coin
cork
and
and-
cylinder routine,
Yeah,
which
that was
I
nice.
reckon fooled him. I reckon that fried him.
Yeah, I
think he
told you the
knows
same
that.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think any modern day magicians, including myself, have ever seen that until you put it out. Obviously, Doug knows all about
No.
it, but I mean,
No,
for
No,
the
no,
general
no, no.
public-
Even Doug hasn't seen it. That's a very
Oh.
new piece.
Oh,
It was
wow.
created. It was created by my friend Samuel King. And
Yes, the
I
first
helped
time
him-
I saw it was
Yeah.
at Jason's hands.
I helped him make the trailer for it and stuff. So my friend told me about the idea and showed me some footage of it, and I thought it was great. So I helped him make a trailer for it, and now he's selling it. So if you guys want it, ask me about it on Instagram or something, and I'll point you in the right direction. You can pick it up and learn it because it is a brilliant routine. I think it's the only coin and cylinder routine that I would carry around like day to day, right? Because it's actually practical to do so.
Right.
Whereas
Yep.
you don't need to carry around any gimmicks. There's no gimmicks. It's all sleight of hand. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Can you
So-
make one, like, let's say you didn't carry it around, can you sort of make one up at a
You just
dinner
get a
table?
toilet paper roll or something. Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a
And
good
Petey-
routine.
Yeah. Are you still, Petey, are you still doing bottle production in your corporates?
Yeah. I mean, it depends really. I mean,
Josh copies you. He does the same thing.
there's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
alcohol brands here that sponsor a lot of these events. So sometimes it's kind of nice to pop that bottle out for them as a bit of,
I also
Hell
like
yeah.
to have a bottle
in a
out.
sense.
Yeah.
But I've stopped using the pouch on the side of my suit for a long time now, purely because you're kind of on stage, and I didn't like the bulkiness of it, especially the bottles that I'm using here. So I've kind of had to sort of just have one of the waiters. Let's say it's a gala dinner, and let's say that's the table they want me to go down and do it for. The camera will come down, it's on the big screen, and then it will
You're
sort
going-
of subtly. I just go raw straight off the table.
David Stone style.
Yeah,
Like the
Oh,
the
you
backup
steal it off
version.
the table and then produce
Yeah.
it.
yeah. Yeah,
Then you
And
steal
once-
their glass of wine and produce it.
Yeah, well, straight after, once you pull the bottle, you put the bottle over here, and then you've taken a glass, and then you just cheers, and you're off. You're on your way.
Yeah, off to the races. Yeah, it's a good
I love
trick.
it.
Yeah, that those Real Secrets of Magic by David Stones are still, I think, the best sources for learning
Yeah,
magic.
that's one of the best
Yeah.
DVDs. I
That's
think.
actually a Mac King idea to pick the glass up off the table or a stool nearby.
Ah, it's a David Stone idea.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no,
It all dates back, if you really want to know.
Yeah. So for the people watching that have seen any of my stage stuff before, I literally, when I do the bottle production, I reference Petey Like I reference seeing Petey do it. Like I talk about a magician doing it,
Oh, nice.
and that being the first time I experienced real magic live, because it's Petey doing it. And what's really cool is I remember Sean showing me that moment back on video when I was like, he has it on video. That show.
You're in the front row, yeah.
Me in the front row. I was only into magic for like a year at that point. Never heard of a bottle production in my life, and then you did it in front of my face. I was like, what the F is going on? And just before that happened, I think you guys made Pete Booth appear as an illusion, like on the stage in this warehouse where there's no there's no curtains or anything. And you made him appear out of the two boxes. So like, that was like a crazy ass show for me to watch that night.
I think what was good about the warehouse show also is that because when you think small room, you just think close up, stand up, and that sort of stuff, mentalist. But it was also nice to somehow throw in a big illusion in there, whether it's producing someone or a transpo or someone from the front to the back, and people be like, "Where's he going from?" Or because there's no room to run, or go anywhere, or go around the back or whatever. Were you at the show where we made a car disappear?
I remember you saying,
"Yeah, I was there."
I remember going to that warehouse when you were like rehearsing and stuff, and you were showing me the Jerry's nuggets that you were just playing around with, the fake Jerry's nuggets.
It was Sean's fake Jerry's nuggets, yeah.
I remember that. That was funny. Good times. When are you coming back to Australia, huh?
Well, I was supposed to be coming back last year for a long visit because I was supposed to come back for a mate's wedding and then obviously do my marriage certificates back home too. But with COVID, we're sort of a bit restricted. I mean, I can be an Australian, I can still come back, but...
Are you married now?
Well, the process of the paperwork is in place, but not
I'm getting married to a Japanese lady. Well done. Good choice, by the way. Great choice.
Hands up for people with Japanese wives.
Hey. On a side note, my computer has frozen, so if I disappear for a second, that's why. It's giving me trouble. Which is amazing that it's happening now. But I can still hear you all.
That's the misdirection.
Yeah, I can still hear you all fine, though, so this is great.
If you sit in the same position and then just have a card on your mouth, it'll just look like it appears when you come back on.
Yeah, so what else has been going on there, man? Like, you're now doing all your content creation on The Party Never Stops. You seem to be really branding that too. I mean, you've got the LED sign there and everything happening. And I hate this screen, by the way, this split screen. But yeah,
because we're not sort of centered, aren't we?
Yeah.
I guess it'll be just a new channel where I can just put anything and everything out there. I mean, once I get to, I'm only on my 10th vlog, but I also obviously.
How many subscribers do you have currently?
On that, 35, I think.
Oh yeah,
got to get to 100 to get your own URL. But the algorithms here are a little bit weird, man. Very weird here in Vietnam because a lot of our content, especially like TikTok and Instagram, is localized. So before COVID, I went back to Australia. Actually, when I was here, before I went back to Australia, a mate of mine, DJ Cutler's back home, he would message me and say, "Yo, did you see my new post?" And I said, "When?" He goes, "I just posted it." So I was refreshing. Didn't see. I literally had to go to his page to see it. So
yeah, wow.
I think being located here, I'm more just exposed locally.
I think that's true for most content platforms because I know that in Australia we have the same thing where like, so for example, now that I'm in Sydney, because now that I'm in Sydney, my Instagram is growing way faster than when I was in Brisbane because now my posts are reaching more people in a more densely populated area, which is super interesting to me. Whereas like prior, I would post something and it tells you too, like when you look at your analytics, it says like, where is it being viewed? And now all my stuff's being viewed in Sydney. So
which is I've never heard that it is.
But
so it works, man.
I mean, I went back to Australia and I started seeing all my Aussie friends' posts.
Peter Booth says, "Hello, Petey."
What's up, Pete?
He misses you.
Miss you too, brother. Been a long minute.
Yeah, Peter Booth now is is my resident magician for Eat Street Markets. Now that I've gone to,
I haven't even been to Eat Street Market.
Come back, you can do a gig there. Let me know.
I'll bring back thread.
Yeah, do it. I'd love that.
We'll pull out a hot dog at the end of it.
out of your eye, like
A sponge hot dog.
that's a weird looking image, like a sausage out of your eye. That's just so weird. But yeah, Josh is on his way back. The silly man has screwed it up. Gosh, Josh, so disappointing.
No, but I was saying when I went back to Australia on my recent trips, I started seeing more posts from my Aussie friends list.
Yeah.
So,
Which is how it goes. Like I rarely see, like Doug, for example, when you post stuff, I rarely see it unless I am actively looking at your stuff.
It's because I'm shadow banned.
that's a thing, isn't it? Shadow ban.
No,
is
it's
a
not.
thing.
It's not a thing. I think that shadow banned is an excuse for making poor content. That's what I think.
That's one of the things, right?
Every time someone says they're shadow banned, you go and you look at their videos and you're like, you're not shadow banned. Your content just sucks.
I'm back.
I mean,
Josh, we missed you
here
for the
like-
5 seconds you were gone. Boy.
Thanks, bro. Thank goodness we're using StreamYard. Bloody massive shout out to StreamYard because that way, it doesn't lose the server when I get kicked off.
That's cool.
Woo. Thank goodness for that.
We were just talking about how content in various countries is localized
Yes,
for that country.
right.
But I see a lot of your stuff, Jason, and I think I spoke to a girl that works for TikTok Vietnam here, and she told me that if your content can't, like, if you have subtitles or if it's like international enough to go international, then it'll give you some exposure on the For You pages. This is for TikTok to overseas, and then if that gets some traction, then you'll stay on that a little bit more. That's why sometimes you see people do duets, and they're like, somehow I ended up on the Indian TikTok, So he must have got exposed to that somehow, kind of thing. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a tricky process. Wow. Like, it's funny because I always look at content like or at social media as like a video game almost. Like you're getting points in different fields to grow. It's so funny. Like doing Instagram has been the funniest one for me because it's like I feel like I finally figured out what works. Now I'm growing at an excessive rate, which is great, and hopefully it keeps going. But now I got to figure out how to do that with YouTube. That's the one I'm struggling with. YouTube.
I think YouTube is the hardest one because
not for Doug. Doug in the space of a year has gone from 500 subs to 220,000 subs.
But I think in America, YouTube is still widely watched on people's phones. Here, I think a lot of Vietnamese, if they're on Facebook and they have to click away to YouTube, they're kind of like, forget about it kind of thing.
That's true. That's true for America too. Like I posted a link to a YouTube thing today. I think I got 2 clicks on it, which is like ridiculous. I never expect anyone to click off Facebook. It's a desolate place.
Thanks for the subs, guys. Scotty,
hey.
Bob.
This might be my favorite comment.
Where's Jay?
Just a plug back to the Free Magic Live days. Passion.
Jay is in Miami, guys. Free Magic Live, former founder and former CEO.
Yeah, that's it.
In Miami.
So is that channel defunct now? Is it no longer?
Going, right?
Still, everything is still there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. The subs are still there. It's one of those things. We've talked about it numerous times anyway, but like it was such a beast of a machine. I just can't think but wonder what it would be like if that machine was still being ran now by Jay. It would be unstoppable. Like, but
another thing I learned with all that is like when I came here and started, and when I was getting traction in I guess my name and brand on my Facebook, I got to like 20,000 quite quickly, but then I sort of slowed down and I was doing film and stuff like that. But what I learned is I've been in Vietnam 10 years. So at this point in time in my life, the fans that loved my work 10 years ago are now 10 years older. So they're not so much following, I guess, so much what I do now. So I've got to, if I want to hit that mark, I got to go back to these Gen Z kids and try and do something that's relevant for them. So on my TikTok, I recently hit 40,000 and I still experiment with magic. I don't get so much viewership on the magic stuff. Even if I put Vietnamese subtitle or I do it in Vietnamese, sometimes I do. But I developed this character, which is like a Vietnamese uncle here. And he's the type of guy that just talks advices and says jokes. And that's the one that's been blowing up for me. So
I've been seeing that one pop up.
So someone said to me, if maybe he can incorporate some magic, like he tries to do magic or something, but it keeps like it messes up, but it actually doesn't mess up, kind of thing. So maybe I might experiment with that.
Yeah. Well, Petey and Jason have something in common in that they both have Thor-like hair. I don't know if you want to give them a little, maybe at the end, if you want to give them a little preview.
We'll do it
but
at the end. Yeah.
These guys' hair is just ridiculous.
Tune in for the hair reveal.
My hair's awesome though. Like, you know, long hair and Japanese wives. That's what life's all about.
Do you always straighten it, or do you curl it up?
No, mine's always straight like this. I brush it. Like I have a shower and brush it and wash it every day and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you got to, right? Have hair like this. You know, a little maintenance, you know.
Because you're worth it.
But at least we don't have to buy dome wax. You know, dome wax is expensive. He's going to be sticking his head in the bowling ball.
I
Soon.
remember now you. I remember when I first met you, Jason. I think we were in Queen Street Mall or something like that, and your hair wasn't that long. It was like a mop-ish kind of over the ear type length.
It was Justin Bieber Maher.
But you were always sort of in a suit jacket and a massive sachet bag.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
That's right.
We had your stuff. So
and
I remember coming over to your place one time. We're out on a rooftop or something.
Yeah,
and you were showing me some slides.
I think that's the first time I showed someone my my sandwich effect with the one-handed split.
Was it that long ago?
Do you remember that? Yeah, it was in 2012 almost, I think. Yeah, because I came up with that trick in 2000. And I came up with it in 2010, and I hadn't really shown it to anyone because I was like, I'll just keep it to myself. And then a control got released. So that's this one here for anyone wondering where you like that, you can produce a card. Yeah. And then a control got released by Zach Mueller called the Victoria control. And that was when I was like, finally the effect is complete because there's a control that I can put the card directly in between the sandwich and go straight into the one-handed split. And then and that was 2012, I think.
Wow.
So yeah,
crazy.
How old were you then?
Jesus Christ. I'm 30 now, so I would have been 22.
You're gonna have to do one video, bro, where you're eating a sandwich while doing the sandwich production. Boom. That's got to be
and the ham appears between the bread.
Yeah.
The one-handed sandwich split with an actual sandwich.
Got to happen.
Yeah. I used to have a full like emo look for everyone that's wondering. I was a pretty unique looking guy. I could probably pull up a picture and show you now. But you know, because when I was younger, I used to do street performing, but I also worked in a lot of bars. And
I do remember that. Yes. Magic City.
Yeah, and I was also a flair bartender for anyone that was wondering. So I used to juggle and flip the bottles and stuff like that. And I was doing well, man. I was getting like $300 a night in tips. I was killing it. But, you know, you can't do that forever because bars are grungy places, man. Like you just don't want to be there for too long.
Getting phased out.
In Brisbane, that was a lot of the... Like. Oh, yeah, show us, yeah. But also, that was a lot of the gigs you were doing in Brizzy, hey, Pete? Like, because you knew a lot of the DJs, a lot of the night scene. I think Fortify was a MC back in the day here as well.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, there he is.
That's I remember.
That actually looks like Bob. Bob Possible, one of our fellow...
So this is me. This is me when I was working in the bars, man. Like, look at this. Totally different dude, right?
Yeah.
I remember. You always had the beanie and the Bieber comb over.
Yeah, like this one here. Like, this is me as the... Yeah, being a bit crazy there. This is me when I was still boxing, so I was incredibly fit, as you can tell.
Hey, wow,
baby.
Yeah, I used to be very, very fit. I think this is about the time where I met you, Petey. It was down here. Let me get down further. Yeah, there we go. That's the suit jacket you were talking about there.
Yeah,
and some girls apparently, because why not? There you go. This looks like about the time I met you. What would it look like?
South Bank. I think we did some filming.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's so now everyone knows the history of old mate Jace the Ace Ventura. Here's me in my earliest days at Magic City. That shit. Man. You could tell I was quite the character. This was my girlfriend at the time, by the way. This girl here.
Sheesh.
Times. And then we won't show that image. Oh, we'll show it anyway. This is the very first post that I ever put on Facebook.
Wow.
That is the very first picture I ever put on Facebook.
Jimmy just asked, "Is that your MySpace?"
Actually, you know what? I was promoting MySpace back then because that's all we had.
Oh man,
True. Oh, we lost Doug.
Oh, we lost Doug.
Oh, he's back.
Here, sorry about that. That's Bob. I'm blaming Bob on that one.
Stupid Bob. But yeah, so I should probably delete that picture off my Facebook if I'm honest. But whatever, who cares?
Fun times. But yeah, Petey, you were like the magic guy in the nightclubs, because I think I remember seeing your videos and stuff in the promotions of the nightclubs. That Petey will be going around and you'd be up at the DJ booth and all that kind of stuff.
I think that was a good time for like the regular weekly gigs at clubs because they always wanted something extra to look after the VIP booths. So. VIP nights were like Friday and some other clubs were Saturday, and that will start like 9 to 11 before the public can go into that space. So I'll get booked from like 9 to 11 to do a bit of roving, free drinks. They were easy. It was like easy $200-$300.
Yeah.
So, and you do 3-4 clubs a week and you're laughing.
Nice.
But I mean, you got to drink with your customers too. So that's the only hard part. So if you can't hold your liquor, you'll be a bit sloppy on your double list.
Yeah, that's what killed. I managed a bar for 2 years, and that's what did me in, drinking with the customers. I had to stop being in a bar.
It gets to the point where you think you're invincible. You're still trying to perform while you're drunk. Yeah.
It also makes your hands dry. I don't know about you guys, but working in a bar really fucks up your hands.
Here's a good question for Petey, maybe from back in the day. How could one get a club gig
today?
Yeah.
The approach I did was I just went in on a sort of less busy night and sort of just did some magic for the bartenders just to get a reaction. And then, I mean, obviously you need to sort of get in touch with the manager because that's the person that's going to be booking you. And then at the time back then, you had your card ready and then you just say, this is what I do. You got any events and stuff like that? Or let's try one. Like at least do one for free or something, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way. Offer them a free trial to let them see what you do. That's a good end.
And then
this is the ageless Petey. The only thing that's changed about you is your hair.
That's the only way. That's the only way I can tell the timeline.
This is JJ, hair. By the way. So for those of you that don't know, this is JJ, the Free Magic Live runner. These two are like best friends. These two are like the Josh and Jason of the 10 years ago.
JJ was like probably the best pickpocketer that I know.
I think he still is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think, if there's one thing you can't fault him on, man, it's his ability to steal shit.
The watch, the tie, the belt.
There you have it. Yeah, they were both charismatic boys and close friends. AJ looking ripped as hell.
There was a time when you went platinum, Petey. Your hair was platinum blonde.
Yeah, I did. It was for a role in a film, so I just thought, fuck it. I've never dyed my hair before, so may as well. I didn't realize that it would burn your scalp that much because it was like 3 times that.
People go bald from that stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. You got me looking up. I got to find a picture of when I had hair now. There's gotta be one.
Yeah, back in the black and white prints.
No, there's probably a picture of me with hair.
I mean, I'm already
black and white photos, like when they used to have to etchogram them.
It's on a cave wall. It's on a cave wall somewhere, and
guy with the chisel. That's it.
Well, I'm already receding a little bit, so I think if it ever goes any further, I'm going bald. On the side, not yet, but I'll embrace it and go the Vin Diesel look if I need to.
Nice.
Bro, nothing beats Vin Diesel. He's got the power of family. I reckon that he could take on Superman.
He could take on the Avengers, mate.
Well, you seen that last movie? I think he could take on anyone, dude. He would have one-shot Thanos.
Oh man, the moment I saw them in space, I'm like, there is no end.
Really, the opening scene where they're swinging across that canyon, I was like, get fucked. That must be the strongest rope in the world. Like, whoever made that rope, the man that weaved that rope deserves a fucking medal. Because
oh man,
that's some shit.
Should we talk real quick about the Conor McGregor and Poirier fight? Did you guys all watch it? I know. I'm
Yeah,
sure
he
you watched it,
fractured his leg and then snapped it at the
Tibia,
end.
his tibia or something.
Yeah, he got effed up.
You can see when it happened too, because he goes for the kick and old mate elbowed him straight in the knee.
Well,
straight in the
there was a. I was
Actually,
watching.
no.
I was listening to a few other people, and they were saying that kind of break usually happens from overtraining, like overtraining
actually-
on those.
Yeah,
You
you're
go,
right.
Petey.
And I was just going to say to Jace that from that angle of the video, it looked like he checked it with his elbow, but there's a photo on the other side that it didn't hit, and Connor's foot actually got to the chest. So he would have actually aggravated it through time, and then obviously.
In saying that, though, I still don't count it as a loss for him because it's like an unfortunate break, right? It's not like the dude skillfully broke his leg and then won. Like,
Yeah, but
unfortunate.
he was getting the beat down, right? It's not like
It should have been a medical KO, right? Like, what is it called?
Yeah,
Like medical
stoppage is what he was
medical
saying.
knockout.
Man,
It's when,
until
well,
that
when,
happened,
it's when they stop the fight because of something that's not meant to happen. Like, so like he broke his leg completely by accident. Therefore, the fight should be stopped and it should be considered a draw.
It was
that's usually what happens. But in this case, they were like,
though.
nah, just let him smash him while he's there with a broken leg on the floor, and then we'll call it a win. You know, like,
Man, I can't believe he was still blocking punches and stuff.
oh,
with
dude,
that
did you see
broken
how he was handling it afterwards? His legs like
Oh,
folded in half, and he's just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
your leg's broken. What are we going to do about this? Anyone?" Just super relaxed. Well, he's got
Man,
the
it was an
adrenaline. As
interview
long as
with
he's got
Joe
the
Rogan
adrenaline,
after.
yeah.
It was so thrilling. That whole round was just full of fighting. It was just full of action that whole time. I was like,
Yeah, but Connor's a
the
showman, man.
best.
He knows how to put on a good fight, right? It's
also,
the reason why he's the moneymaker.
I didn't realize this until yesterday. There was one of the guys' matches. He won, and then he got up onto the octagon and he did a shoey. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
He does the
And-
shoeys on all his victories.
Yeah. Do you know? Like why he did the shoey or whose shoe it was and stuff? Because I didn't know until yesterday, until I watched a vlog. So it looks like nothing. It just looks like he planned to do a shoey afterwards or whatever. But it was actually planned from the Nelk Boys. If you guys watch any of their content, because the Nelk Boys, they millionaires, YouTubers, vloggers, they put up a vlog yesterday. They went to watch the match, and they have a brand called Happy Dad, where it's a brand of beer, and Dana White had them backstage in his office and gave them a branded pair of Air Force Ones for their Happy Dad brand. So they're like, oh, sweet. And then they talked to him beforehand, the fighter, saying, hey, if you win, we should do a shoey afterwards. But when he won, he looked at the Nelk Boys and was like, let's do it now. So he took off the shoe that Dana White had just given him, threw it at him, and then I think they gave him one of his Happy Dad beers, and that's what he's like shoeing. So from the vlog perspective, it made way more sense. But, watching the match, I didn't think anything of it. Like,
Some branding, man. Gotta love it.
What are people in the back row just going, what the hell's going on down there?
Yeah.
This man's got a shoe to his face. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
What about you, Doug? You ever done a shoey?
I'm trying to figure out what a shoey is right now. I'm just
When
trying
you
to
drink beer out of a shoe. It's pretty self-explanatory.
drink. Oh no, I've never drank beer out of a shoe.
You pour it into the
Pussy.
shoe first, and then you drink
Well,
it. Yeah.
Wasn't there an Aussie magician that went on Got Talent and did these beer glass productions, and at the end,
Oh yeah, Dom
Oh,
Chambers.
Dom. Yeah.
and then produces his shoe, pours the beer in the shoe, drinks it out of that.
That
Yeah,
sounds
he's
familiar.
a champion. You know, he's only 28 years old. Son of a bitch.
That's a great routine too.
He was an excellent performer. Like I watched his. It's funny because I recently watched his stuff again, like his audition stuff, and man, he's a performer through and through. He's great. I really enjoyed his stuff. There's very few. I find Australian magicians the hardest to enjoy. If I'm honest, I think 90% of Australian magicians are just garbage. But every now and again,
We're in the 10%, right, Josh?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it.
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Look at the number of magicians in Australia.
Look,
How
I'll
many
say
of them are
I'll say
actually
you're right.
any
A
good?
professional viewing any massive amateurs from that stance is going to look at them in the same way. 90% of amateurs are going to be poor at what they do.
I'm talking about the people that are even full-time workers.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like really poor workers out there.
Well, I mean, it is magic we're talking about.
Yeah,
Well, I think also even online now, like the space of so many people trying to be famous online that now they've kind of like killed the gimmick magic world. Like for the medium of magicians performing, they just grab the effect, try to do it. There's just way too much now that I think even the general public now, it's nothing.
Oh, dude,
you
they're
know?
onto it. People know now. I mean, we have a case in point. We talked about it with Hildebrand and that card to watch thing, where like people were like almost challenging him. Now they were duetting his video and revealing this trick because they had seen it so much. They were just kind of sick of it. Great picture. Is that you, Doug?
There I am.
Ooh, let me bring it up
Great
on the
outfit.
big screen here.
I love
Dougie's Street performing.
You see that? This is
Blondie.
me at the Taste of Chicago in 1990.
You got a
Nice
whistle
fedora,
as well.
man. Nice. Is that a Stetson? No, not a Stetson.
Probably not. I couldn't afford that.
Kubra.
shit
That's
back
an
in that
Kubra.
day. This is 1988, man. I can't remember. That was probably a $20 hat for me at the time. Modeled after Harry Anderson. So that was.
You look great, man.
Well, thanks.
What's in the pocket?
Cigarettes.
Oh,
All right, so that's that picture.
Well, you know what, Doug? I think you look better now than you did back then, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I feel like I know more.
I should hope so.
Doug's got that look.
At least you don't smoke anymore, so good work.
Actually,
Yeah.
I released a smoking effect. I
remember,
effect.
the pack of cigarettes.
That's right.
I remember
So,
that.
That's right.
For
that
a
was
hot minute, I remember when I was younger and you released that, fooled the shit out of me. Because I didn't have like a great wealth of knowledge on
I'll see if I can
magic.
find. I might have to send it to Doug. So basically, the way that what happened with that was I was in Thailand. I was in Bangkok visiting Greg. Remember Greg?
Yeah, Gregoire, yeah.
And Jar was there as well. So what actually happened was they have the street food vendors that they're just people that push their carts and they sell you, I guess, food, fruit or whatever. And there was a guy pushing a magic cart, and he would perform the tricks, and then if you like it, he would sell it to you. So he did the cigarette one to us.
We should do that.
Yeah, he did the cigarette one, and I was like, "What?" And Greg was like, "What?" So we said, "How much was it?" And I think it worked out to be something like $30 Aussie. So when we said, "Yeah, we'll buy it," I was expecting some sort of instruction, and it wasn't. It was just him showing us the gimmick, and we had to go home and make it.
Oh wow!
He just like told you.
Yeah, he let us play around with it, and then because he didn't have any spares on him to give us, and then I was like, and he goes, "Yeah, but you pay for the secret." I was like, okay, I kind of feel ripped off because I didn't get anything. But I saw how it was made, and then I went, okay. I think I went home, and then I went on the Magic Forum Cafe to ask anyone if that trick was around anywhere, because I wanted to, I guess, publish it. But I couldn't find anyone who was familiar with that. And then I made it, and then I think it uses the same principle as the crayons, perhaps.
Appearing crayons
doesn't use the same principle as the crayons. No, the method, because you produce full cigarettes.
Yeah.
The crayons method is not full.
Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I sold this for $30.
It's good trick, Doug.
This is a product you marketed to the magic community?
Send me a link to it, and I'll pull it up.
Private. Okay, I sent over on
just on Facebook or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. So at the time, back then, I was using an MacBook IG4, actually G4 iBook. It was an iBook at the time. G4. So on there, they had a app called iWeb, and you can do, I guess, just drag and drop website and add a PayPal button to it or whatever. So it was easy to just do like a quick store. Why is your name not coming up?
I'm over here looking through my pictures. I just found a weird one. We were talking about McGregor. This is one I did. It was actually for a Daniel. That's not it. Sorry. It's for a Daniel Madison thing. Where is it? There it is. There we go.
Wow. Daniel Madison. Is he still doing anything? I used to like his stuff too, but I never got into too deep with the cardistry stuff.
There's Conor McGregor doing the worm.
I don't know if I like you learning how to use internet, Doug.
This was probably 10 years ago.
All right, gentlemen, check this out.
There was some meme that went with that. I can't remember what it is.
So you want a full screen of that, Josh?
Maybe over 10 years ago, this.
There won't be any music for this, though. But so this is his promo video. You can see it's like more of a slideshow than anything else.
Editing's come a long way, huh?
Watch this trick, kids. See if this fools the hell out of you. Got 2 packs of cigarettes.
Ah, no. Don't you hate it when you ran out of Marlboros? Well, today you can
Got
refill
full cigarettes, bro. They're
$10.99.
freaking full.
Yeah.
Check those out. You can even check them out. Then they check out the box and the cigarettes. Are you kidding me?
That's my cousin.
That's some
So
sheesh. Yeah, look at her. Her acting is on point, bro.
she's like, yeah, they smell like cigarettes.
He's like, I got no
This is the
clue.
convincer.
The cigarette pack was empty, and then it totally wasn't. It was like, dude, look at that shit.
Boom. Talk about
She's like,
organic.
I know, right?
This is an
crazy.
independent recreation of Warpo's appearing butts trip.
Appearing butts.
Appearing butts. We used to sell it at a
Don't
Main
encourage-
Amuse in the French
don't-
Quarter.
How
in
long ago was that? When was that out?
1999.
Wow. Okay.
Appearing butts.
You stole. You stole. Criminal.
Don't
Told you
encourage
Doug knows
all
everything,
possible.
dude.
The appearing butts.
Look, that's just a happenstance that I was in that environment where that was sold. It wasn't mass
When did you
marketed or
post that
anything.
trick, Petey?
I think that was what does the link say?
I was
Maybe
1998, right?
Yeah. So Warpo stole your jam. You invented it before you did magic. That was impressive.
I mean, I think maybe early 2011 or something like that.
And I don't know what method you're
2009.
using. I don't know the methods. I don't know. It's just the effect is similar. It look, I mean,
Oh, let me
like
give you the 411 in it. So, no, just kidding. If
So
you
I
want
guess
to,
we'll
let's
wrap
go
up-
to Petey's
wrap up
website,
soon,
pick
but-
it up, $30.
Yeah. Before we wrap up and stuff, Petey, what are you are you plugging anything at the moment? Is there anything coming up? Are you just in some downtime at the moment? What's happening?
I mean, we're still in lockdown, so I think I'm just going to try and keep up with the vlogs. And then I think when things come back, we want to try and run back the Mystic Night Show at that event space. I'd like to. I mean, when I saw Jason's YouTube video on one of the things he was teaching, it sort of sparked that little kid drive to learn something again.
ooh,
But
nice.
I haven't sat down and learned anything new or actually put time and go through the struggles and the frustrations in a while. So I want to do that again.
That's what I'm here for, my bro. I'm
Awesome.
here to inspire.
So I think I want
Inspire
to maybe
new magicians.
document that and then I guess post it and sort of see like a progression. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And if you guys ever get a chance, come here. We'll take you to the bar. We got to.
I plan to. Yeah, I still never visited Vietnam yet, but I definitely plan to, man. That'll be a good time.
You guys will love
Josh is
it.
off to New Zealand first. He's out of here.
Yeah, I'm off to New Zealand tomorrow. So for those in the Patreon, it'll be Jason and Doug running the show and the jam this weekend.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. So look out for that, guys. But
Party time.
that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, the party never stops, bro. Don't you know this?
Party never stops, baby.
That's it.
Party never stops.
Yeah,
Hardcore,
buddy.
baby.
Well, Petey, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. Good
Pleasure.
hanging out.
Really
It's always
acquired
good.
some new knowledge.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you, Petey.
Nice to meet you, Doug. We'll
Yeah.
see you again soon.
So you can follow Petey on TikTok, on YouTube, on his Party Never Stops site, on Facebook. We'll put all the links below if they're not already there. But yeah, this has been real. And this has been episode 34 of The Magic Guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.